The South Today Bulletin, proudly brought to you in association with MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Tonight on the South Today, the future of the zero fees scheme at Invercargill's SIT is up in the air. Dunedin streets turn blue and white as Argentina meets South Africa in the FIFA Women's World Cup. And one of New Zealand's most famous rugby commentators is set to boomfa onto South African television. Kia ora, good evening. I'm Hannah Wilkins. A petition has launched in Invercargill in the hope that students aren't left out of pocket. Southern Institute of Technology may be losing its fees-free scheme, putting the city's population at risk of a major decline.
A pōwhiri welcoming the most recent intake of students to the Southern Institute of Technology. SIT have had their zero fees scheme for over 20 years, but now its future is up in the air after their merger into the nationwide organisation Te Pūkenga. The scheme was introduced in 2001 in an effort to attract more students to the south, with a total of over $7 million contributed by locals. But now its future is only confirmed until the end of next year.
At the end of the day, with regards to the community strategy of attracting young ones, because we all know we've got an ageing population, education is the best way of doing so.
Guha is the former Chief Financial Officer of SIT and a key architect of the zero fees scheme. Now a student there, he's launched a petition to try and save the scheme. He estimates his Level 4 course is costing him around $2,500 less than it normally would, all thanks to zero fees. SIT is the only tertiary provider in New Zealand to offer such a scheme, and Guha believes its removal would create a lot of uncertainty for the region as a whole.
From the year 2018 to 2022, the economic impact of SIT on the region because of zero fees is $500 million.
The petition calls on the House of Representatives to remove SIT from the tertiary reforms, gaining almost 300 signatures already and hoping to have over 1,000 by late August.
It's hugely important. Pre-zero fees back in 1999, there were about 1,400 students at SIT. Now SIT has over 4,000 and we were over 5,000 at one stage.
A spokesperson for Te Pūkenga says they understand and support the objectives of zero fees, but they've not yet resolved the longer-term future of the scheme, expecting decisions to be made in the near future. In Invercargill, the South Today.
A group of medical healthcare staff were out in full force in central Dunedin earlier today, rallying against what they say is major underpayment issues in their profession. These lab workers walked off the job on Friday morning as part of rolling strike action across the South Island and Wellington over demands for better pay. Members of the Apex union are protesting against Awanui Labs, and for some it's their 5th time striking this month. The company offered workers a 5% pay increase shortly after the last industrial action, but union members want a rise of between 20 and 35%. Awanui Labs hasn't responded to the latest protests, but has said it's committed to reaching an agreement with its staff. Dunedin streets were full of cheering fans and school children today as they marched their way to Dunedin Stadium for the Women's Football World Cup. Some schools were let out early so the young fans could show their support at the Argentina versus South Africa match.
Cheers and drums echoing outside Dunedin Stadium as a sea of blue cheer on the Argentinians. The Women's Argentina versus South Africa Football World Cup match was held in Dunedin on Friday afternoon, with fans and school pupils marching together along the streets before the game. Many local schools were let out early, allowing the pupils to experience the live atmosphere of the Women's World Cup.
A lot of very keen kids who have not gone to something big like this before. A lot of them haven't even been to the stadium. So this is a perfect opportunity to show our support.
Argentina looked set to have the lion's share of vocal fans, with a group of dedicated supporters making the journey from Queenstown to enjoy the game. School teachers say the game will be an awesome experience for the pupils, with the rare opportunity to attend such a big event, the game even leaving some students inspired.
It's like watching men's football, it's cool, but you know, it's like, we're seeing women's football, it's like, yeah, no, I could do that, I could be there.
Despite going 2-0 down, the Argentinian fans weren't deterred, cheering their team into a late flurry of goals, ending the game at a 2-2 draw. In Dunedin, the South Today.
And following on from Argentina's thrilling comeback draw against South Africa, the buzz continued around the Octagon with some post-match activities. Football fans were in high spirits, marching back into the heart of the city towards the FIFA Fan Festival on Friday afternoon and watching the World Cup mural develop outside the municipal chambers. The Fan Zone's a free event with a range of activities on offer for fans to enjoy, including mini challenges, action-packed performances and live screenings of World Cup matches. The entertainment program will include screening Dunedin's only sellout game at the Town Hall, the crucial match between the FIFA football ferns and Switzerland on Sunday night. And those with tickets to the game will be able to join a special last mile walk from the Fan Zone to the stadium. Mosgill's new pool has been making a big splash in the Tairi community, but some locals have voiced their concerns over young swimmers. Local teenagers have been at the centre of complaints recently after some unruly behaviour at Te Puna o Whakaehu following the pool's opening last month. Mosgill residents have divided opinions about what should be done about the unruly youths, with some feeling there is nothing for the teens to do at the pool. The Mosgill Tairi Community Board has been approached by some locals with the idea of a designated section in the lane pool to accommodate for the youth. However, the Dunedin City Council say they've received overwhelmingly positive feedback on the new facility, with the pool proving popular with all ages. One of the most well-known voices behind New Zealand rugby commentary has been selected to commentate overseas, with the distinctive cry of boomfa heading across continents. Justin Marshall will be covering the Rugby World Cup in France for South Africa's Super Sports coverage after missing out the last time the tournament was held.
Rugby fans have been used to seeing former All Black Justin Marshall on their TV screens, originally as a player and now in recent years as a match commentator for Sky TV. But now the Queenstown-based rugby star is preparing to get behind the mic for one of the country's arch rivals, the Springboks, as an analyst and panellist in South Africa's Rugby World Cup coverage.
You know, Rugby World Cups are what you call the game for in my field. You know, it's what you want to do as a commentator. It takes you out your comfort zone. It's not easy, it's challenging, and that's what makes my competitive juices flow, you know.
The change in countries came about after Marshall was told in March by New Zealand Sky Sport that he wouldn't be a part of its commentary team in France this September and October.
I kind of relate it to what it was like as a player, where, you know, you get a coach that comes to tell you all of a sudden, you know, we're going to start this guy, and it's your job to stay positive and be part of the team, and you've got to accept it.
Marshall was approached by South African broadcaster Super Sport to join its star-studded coverage team in France, alongside another foreign rugby legend, Australia's George Gregan.
Yeah, brilliant that a broadcast partner could come along, and they said we would love to have you working for us at the Rugby World Cup.
But it won't be the end of Justin Marshall commentating New Zealand games. His regular rugby contract with Sky TV runs through until the end of 2025. In Queenstown, the South Today.
Whaiakene still to come on the South Today. Southland wrestlers get ready to rumble in the deep south, and North Canterbury Nerf shootouts, all in the name of safe community fun.
Here at Age Concern Otago, we offer a range of services to support Otago seniors to age well with dignity and independence. We provide social work support, visiting service, health promotion and social activities. Check out what we have on offer at ageconcernotago.com.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Aero, used by Australia's top bowlers with their unique Z-scoop grip that redefines the game. Machined with robotics for unparalleled accuracy, Aero, same line, every time.
The sun may be lower in the sky, but that doesn't lower the risk from skin cancer. Melanoma doesn't care about the season and will continue growing regardless. Don't let shorter days shorten your days. Book a full body mole map now.
Drive away your way with 3 incredible offers on the Honda CR-V Adventure Ready range. Choose from 2.9% finance with zero deposit, third finance, or lease a new CR-V from just $136 per week. These offers are only available for a limited time, so be in quick. From Honda.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Tēnā koe, welcome back. Southland's best wrestlers are getting ready to rumble this weekend in an effort to gain more exposure for their niche profession. The Southern Professional Wrestling Club hope to showcase their talent at the upcoming Southern Rumble, with the organisation drawing a Dunedin student south.
In Invercargill, tucked away in a back room of the Waikiwi Football and Rugby Club, is an unexpected surprise. This is the home of Southern Professional Wrestling. They're one of a number of pro wrestling clubs spread throughout the country and are preparing to show off some Southern talent, slamming their way into the Southern Rumble.
We've probably produced some of the best guys in the country, I'd say. There's a couple up in Auckland as well that produce quality, but especially if you're getting into wrestling training, it's real important to be in an environment that really pushes everyone to succeed.
Jackson connected with the club while he was at high school. Living in Dunedin at the time, he saw a documentary on Southern Pro Wrestling and convinced his mum to drive him to Invercargill for their Give It a Go day.
I didn't even know there was wrestling in New Zealand, so finding out that it was down here and it was so accessible, just 2 hours down the road was kind of a dream come true.
Now, 5 years later, he's training twice a week while also balancing full-time study towards his teacher's qualifications. His choice to study teaching came from travelling around the country for wrestling, where he enjoyed coaching and connecting with young people.
Where I am now, I wouldn't have ended up down here. I probably wouldn't have ended up teaching or anything if it wasn't for wrestling, and it's still probably, one of the main priorities of my life.
The team are looking forward to the Southern Rumble on Saturday, with the club also set to host their Have a Go Day next month. And they're hoping all the exposure will attract some fresh faces into the ring. In Invercargill, the South Today.
A North Canterbury man is giving kids an outlet to have fun on cold and rainy days with a toy that's been used throughout the last couple of generations. The Loburn entrepreneur is offering some safe and energetic fun by hosting indoor Nerf games for members of his community to come and enjoy.
Shooting foam pellets at your friends is a fun and active way to ward off the wintry blues. Ryan Edmonds has started hosting Nerf shootouts in Loburn at the local community hall as a source of entertainment during the cold, wet weather. He used Nerf guns himself as a kid, but stumbled upon the idea to host shootouts quite by accident.
Well, I was in one of the op shops and I just they were going to chuck out a whole bunch of guns, and I thought it would be quite cool actually for the kids in the local area as a way to bring them together actually, and I had some old ones at home, and it just seemed sort of like a natural way to bring people in the community together.
The martial arts teacher tested the concept at his recent 21st birthday, with the success swaying him to open it up to the community. He constructed an arena full of foam obstacles and jumps, creating the ideal space for a Nerf battle. The young entrepreneur says he felt it was a good way to kickstart his desired career in business.
I'm still sort of trying to work out my way in the world, and this sort of felt like a natural step.
Nerf blasters have been used for generations for over 25 years, with the shootout arena proving very popular with the Lowburn locals, both young and old. In Lowburn, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Southlanders have launched a petition to save SIT's zero fees scheme, with its future questioned by Te Pukenga staff. Argentinian football fans filled Dunedin's streets with colour and music after a 2-2 tie against South Africa. And Kiwi rugby commentator Justin Marshall will feature on South African screens. He's selected as part of their TV team for the Rugby World Cup. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, and we welcome Associate Editor Mike Houlihan. Hello Mike.
Evening, Hannah.
What can we expect in the weekend paper?
Well, we've got details of an interesting Tennessee Tribunal ruling which may or may not mean that people are able to smoke or not smoke in their tenanted properties.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
We've got an update on a wetland project, which is questions have been raised about its efficiency and effectiveness. We've got obviously football fever, the big game in Dunedin on Sunday between the football ferns in Switzerland. And being Saturday, we have the Mix magazine with all plenty of weekend reading there.
Love it. Thank you for sharing this evening, Mike.
Thank you.
Time now for a look at the weather.
The South Today weather, proudly brought to you by MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Looking at the situation, mostly fine this weekend as westerly airflow increases, but another bout of cold southwesterly airflow will arrive from about Tuesday next week. Heading to the top of the South Island, it's looking fine with light winds right through here tomorrow, with a high of 14 in Nelson and 13s for Greymouth and Christchurch. Travelling to South Canterbury and North Otago, a beautifully clear 12-degree day is on the way tomorrow for Ashburton, Timaru and Oamaru. Heading westwards to the Central Lakes, and the great conditions continue, with Queenstown lining up for a 10-degree day with light northerlies. Wanaka reaches 11 with clearish skies, and Alexandra, a combination of the both, along with a high of 12 degrees. Heading further south, fresh westerlies are inbound through here with late showers and 10 degrees for Gore and Balclutha, while the Catlins prepares for an 11-degree day with nor'westerlies and some cloud at times. And across to Invercargill, looking fine tonight with a low of 5. Cloudy tomorrow with morning showers before gusty southwesterlies and a high of 10. Into Sunday, it's a dry one with 13 degrees, cloudy skies and fresh westerly winds. And finally heading to Dunedin, mostly cloudy tonight as it drops to 3. Saturday's a fine one with lots of sunshine, light winds and a high of 12. Then Sunday is warmer again with 13 and super light northerlies. And that's the news this Friday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. You can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. We're also on Facebook. Just search for the South Today NZ to see our favourite stories from around the regions. We'll see you again next week. Mā te wā.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.